Welcome to the New Hollywood Show and our premiere episode. So thankful to be able to bring this show to you tonight and every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And hey, I've been saying for a long time now, I'm going to dress up for our premiere episode. So I did it. I did that. Special occasion, special attire. Oh man, we have a jam-packed first show for you. It's going to be awesome. Hey, what's up with Daniel Day-Lewis coming out of retirement? Huh? I haven't seen that guy in a while. What's up with the late night talk shows downsizing? We're going to talk about that. And hey, Shazam is coming out too, but I'm not talking about retirement or the closet. Zachary Levi made some comments he's been talking out lately. We'll talk about that. And our guest today, I'm so excited for our guest, actor, producer Nick Searcy is here with us, and we'll get into a whole lot more. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Hello, free thinkers, Hollywood professionals, and creatives worldwide. I am Tatum Shank. We are Hollywood for Freedom, and this is our podcast to keep connected with you, our community of free thinking industry professionals and like-minded patriots. Hey, as creatives, you are responsible for shaping the hearts and minds of our culture. What you create matters, and what we believe matters, and that is this. We believe wholesome ideals and traditional values create a healthy culture. We believe in personal autonomy, freedom, and responsibility. Being a free thinker is crucial. And we believe you can be a healthy creative working in Hollywood, or better yet, in the new Hollywood that we're creating. All right, if you're not yet a member of our database, please sign up for free on our website at hollywoodforfreedom.com. Our strength is in our numbers, so please join the movement. And of course, we know big tech is going to be on our case, all right? So we encourage you to find us on Rumble or X, where we can speak freely without censorship. All right, so click on those links in the description, join us, and please share those links with others as well. Give us those big thumbs up. As my daughter likes to say when she does her pretend YouTube channel, give us a big thumbs up, right? We want to make sure you guys are following us, helping us out. Click the follow link for notifications of our weekly show as well. And all right, before I go any further, I want to welcome into my co-host for the show today. First of all, we have one of the co-founders of Hollywood for Freedom. He is the producer of the show, the one making all this happen, the always dapper Mr. Timothy Glover.
Hey, Tatum. This is awesome.
Tim.
It's so good, isn't it? I mean, this has been a long time coming. There's been a whole lot of work put into this, but I'm excited. Yeah. This is going to be an amazing show.
It's going to be a good show, right? It's going to be fun.
It's going to be great. Yeah.
That's awesome. We're going to have a great time. So, Tim, thanks for being here. And as well, rounding out our co-host trifecta for today, also a co-founder of Hollywood for Freedom, also known as Jeremy Boring in some circles. Beyond that, not much introduction needs to be done for this man, my good friend, Marshals for Life, Siaka Massaquoi.
What's up, guys? How we doing? So excited. Like Tim said, it's been a long time coming, and we're here. And I decided I was going to show off the guns on this episode. Man. So where you guys had ties and blazers, I'm in Tennessee. I got gun rights hit back. I got gun rights back.
There you go. I love it. Love it. Yeah. Well, it's good to have you here too, Siaka. This is awesome. This is going to be great. Tim, Siaka, you guys, super excited about this show. Yeah. We're gonna talk about a lot of stuff here today. We're getting a lot of different things. I'm really excited to have Nick Searcy on later. That's gonna be really cool. But we are gonna get into things right now with our news and notes of the industry. Let's get into this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the industry.
All right.
All right, let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly of the industry. Not necessarily in that order, but let's go with Daniel Day-Lewis coming out of retirement first. Let's talk about that. Like, haven't seen that guy in a while. Daniel, here's an article from Variety. Daniel Day-Lewis officially ends retirement from acting for Sun's film Anemone. All right. Daniel Day-Lewis, widely considered one of the greatest actors of his generation, is emerging from retirement after 7 years away from the big screen. He's starring in Focus Features and Plan B's upcoming film, Anemone, which marks the directorial debut of his son, Ronan Day-Lewis. Oh, there we go. There's a reason to come out of retirement. So Daniel Day-Lewis and Ronan Day-Lewis co-wrote this film. It's described as an exploration of the intricate relationships between fathers, sons, and brothers, as well as the dynamics of family bonds. Daniel Day-Lewis, he'll lead the cast in his first acting gig since 2017's Phantom Thread. Okay. Ronan Day-Lewis, 26, a painter whose debut international solo exhibit opened October 2nd in Hong Kong, has stops in New York and Los Angeles. So he's a painter, and now he's a director. Why not? If your dad's Daniel Day-Lewis, hey, Dad, let's go make a film, huh? Why not? Daniel Day-Lewis, check this out. This is one little quick fact. Daniel Day-Lewis, the only actor to ever win 3 Best Actor Oscars, and he got those for Lincoln, There Will Be Blood, and My Left Foot. Siaka, what do you think about that? The only actor with 3.
Well, first, congratulations. He's a great performer. But, you know, I got to say, there is no better level of nepotism than having your first movie.
Oh, man.
First movie starring one of the greatest actors ever.
Yeah.
And just see where it goes. And then 2, 7 years is funny. I think I like to call it between all the gigs that I have. There was times where I went about a year and a half without any work. So I guess I came back after that too. Like I think so many of us were in retirement in between work. So I'm happy to see him back though.
I retire all the time.
Well, it's an interesting point as to, you know, whether actors can really retire. And I mean, look, sometimes I think actors, especially that big, you know, they have to just go into forced retirement. Otherwise, he was intense. The way he worked on a movie, his preparation was second to none. And I think he was a very intense actor. So, you know, he probably had to force himself into retirement a little bit. But, you know, no better way to come back than with your son, wouldn't you say?
You know, one good thing about retirement, you could have as many milkshakes as you want. You know what I mean? Milkshakes. Right? There will be blood. Nobody? Okay, all right.
No, so nice. Good job, bud. I was like, you could do that now. Like, what? Oh, it's a reference.
Call back. All right. Anyways, well, hey, maybe we talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Let's move on. Let's talk about the late night talk shows, downsizing. What is going on with that? Interesting here. Tim, you got an article for us on that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, this was an interesting article recently. I'll just bring it up for us now. How late night TV is downsizing as the Tonight Show cuts to a 4-day weekly schedule. The genre, perhaps more than any other entertainment format, is struggling to adapt to a streaming world. Do late night talk shows have a future? A couple of decades ago, the question would have been crazy given their young audience and pop cultural relevancy, but the world of entertainment is shifting to an on-demand streaming world. Late night, perhaps more than any other entertainment format, has struggled to adapt. On September 6th, NBC's long-running Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon announced plans to trim back its production schedule, airing 4 nights per week instead of 5, swapping its Friday edition for a rerun. It's kind of surprising because, you know, these late-night variety shows were cash cows for years, notes media analyst Brad Adgate. They brought in a younger audience. It was relatively inexpensive to produce, and they had a bigger ad load than, say, primetime TV. That, in turn, meant that the margins on late night were higher than primetime. But the world has changed. Now, of course, the cultural cachet is built on YouTube and TikTok. And while the shows are present there, even quite successful on those platforms, the revenue just doesn't line up to what they invest in the product. And the older audiences still watching linear TV just aren't as valuable to marketers. The audience is getting older and desirable viewers aren't watching on TV, Adgate says. They're going to watch little snippets the next day on YouTube. Yeah, so I thought this was an interesting article. Their definition of valuable to marketers, what part of the market is valuable, which I thought was an interesting statement there. But I just want to cut again to what I think is more the issue with this. I want to cut to this article here where John Oliver blasts JD Vance for dodging question about 2020 election results in VP debate. This was a few weeks ago. And he says, this is his quote, for all the talk this week about his civility at the debate, let's not forget deep down, he's the same colossal dip, boop, who spews right-wing hate with distressing ease and continues to defend the big lie that the election was stolen. So, that kind of says it all for me. That says it all, I mean, you can make excuses about the value of the market and that your audience is getting older and that younger audiences aren't watching on linear TV. But you know what? I think at the end of the day, it's comments like that turns off half the audience. So that's my opinion.
Exactly. Tim, I 100% agree with you. I really believe, actually, we are seeing a different form of late night, and people do it around the clock with podcasts. You're tuned tonight here on Friday night. There will be a Trump and Joe Rogan. People will sit and watch that. Yeah. So when you could sit and watch that, or you can watch John Oliver spew what he spews, and there's a choice. So I don't really think the style of late night is the issue. I think the content of what late night has right now. And if you look at all three of those networks, they are failing in general, and they've went all in on one direction. So I think it's more of a byproduct of their decisions than a issue with the actual product itself of late night as a whole.
Yeah. Fully agree.
I would just say this. I had two comments on this. One, obviously the election was stolen. That's a given. And I'd also say congratulations for getting your 3-day weekend place there.
Jimmy Fallon.
Cut back those episodes. I'm 3-day weekends. I'm out of here.
Hey, can we just do a rerun on Friday? Because I've got things to do. I've got places to be.
And no one's going to notice anyway. But I don't know. I saw him during COVID at home with his kids. He did not look like that's where he wanted to be. So this may actually be a turn off for him. He's like, are we back yet?
No. Okay. Can we not do a 6 show? I want to do Saturday. No, nobody's definitely watched on Saturday. Anyways. Okay. So that's the late night talk show downsizing conversation. We'll maybe talk about that here again in a minute. But let's shift gears here. Let's go to Shazam's coming out party, huh? Like Zachary Levi making some pretty bold comments lately. Siaka, what do you got for us on that?
All right. Well, Shazam actor Zachary Levi, he just Shazammed his way out of the closet of the hidden conservative in Hollywood. So Zachary Levi endorses Donald Trump after Robert F. Kennedy Jr. suspends campaign. We're gonna take back this country and make it great again. Zachary Levi endorses Donald Trump at a rally in Michigan before introducing former presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the former Rep. Tulsi Gabbard to the stage. The Shazam actor was at the Team Trump's Reclaim America tour event to moderate a conversation with Kennedy and Gabbard. We're here to make sure that we are going to take back this country. We're going to make it great again. We're going to make it healthy again, Levi said on stage. And so I stand with Bobby and I stand with Tulsi and I stand with everyone else who is standing with President Trump, because I do believe of the two choices we have, we only have two. President Trump is the man that can get us there. And he's going to get us there because he's going to have the backing and support and the wisdom and the knowledge and the fight that exists in Robert Kennedy Jr. and former Representative, now Republican, Tulsi Gabbard. So I think something that's big there, and he actually just recently has been, getting a lot of hits negatively and positively, but from the media. And he's actually implored, and I think he's a little behind when it comes down to what we've done here with Hollywood for Freedom. But he's implored so many other people in the industry to stop being silent, to come out and have their voices raised. And we know Hollywood is such a industry based on fear. and no one wants to even back a friend that has controversy behind them that they may have known for 20, 30 years. And I see this as a good move. When it comes down to how Hollywood works, it may be too late to save the industry based on what they've done, but that's okay because we can decentralize the power, and people like ourselves, and we'll talk to Nick later. Will be great opportunity for these other stories that are the American stories to get made and get told by American actors. No offense, Tim, but you're not an actor, so it's good.
Wow, yeah. Take that to heart.
But you're not an actor though, so that's you can still produce it. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you can produce our stuff. That's good. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I love in that article the language. I mean, he's all out now, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all comes together. And my question to Nick later in the show is going to be, does he know any other actors that are yet to come out? They're coming out slowly, and I think as momentum builds, we're going to see more of that, and I think it's going to be a good thing.
Amen.
Hey, and look, this is the deal. Like they drew the line, right? They made this thing become sides. Like, and for us, 3 years ago, the whole vaccine, COVID nonsense, crazy, like it just solidified those two sides. And, I'd rather be on this side anyways. I don't have a problem working with other people from the other side, this and that. They have a problem working with us. Yeah, that's the deal. Like they're so hateful and there's so much vitriol in there, right? So, but if they're going to draw the line, fine. We're going to be on this side of it, and we're going to do our thing over here, and create this new Hollywood. We're able to make content that's bring back the moral compass and stuff, and bring back stuff that's we can be proud of being a part of. And I think that's really what we're doing.
You know what I love? COVID actually made it really easy to spot the crazies. And the allies, right? But definitely the crazies where you're like, I'm not going down that street. I'm going to go the other way.
Yeah. You worked out who your friends were. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So instant connection, right? We built instant connections with people just based off of what went on and all that crazy that, by the way, mask mandates in Northern California, they're back. Like, what in the world? Like, this is so crazy. Talk about crazy, right? Like, give me a break. Anyways, don't get me going on that. Let's stay on course here. Tim's poll. Don't we have a Tim's poll for today? What is Tim's poll?
Yeah, we do. We do. And I think it's going to be a good one. So anyone that wants to put their answer in the chat, go ahead, because our poll today is, can an artist truly retire? So we're in the vein of Daniel Day-Lewis retiring and then coming back. So I'm keen to know whether people actually think that artists can really retire.
Not with the money they make. No.
All right, so that's good. So yeah, people could chat, put that in the chat. We'll kind of look at that throughout the week here, and maybe get a little update next week. But that's cool. Yeah. So let us know what you think about that. If an artist can actually really retire. It's good. Tim's poll. That's awesome. So look, we're going to do a quick break here. And after the break, we're going to get NICK SEARCY on here with us. It's going to be great. Have a little interview with him, get his thoughts on some things. And we're going to do that right after this quick mention from our sponsor. The New Hollywood Show is brought to you by Oak Security, a longtime local business right here in Southern California. While crime and the fear of crime are at an all-time high, Oak Security can install a simple-to-use system that'll help you find peace of mind for your family or coworkers. They have been providing burglar alarms and camera systems for both residential and commercial for 20 years, and the use of your smartphone makes it easy to view what's happening in real time. Oak Security is a family-owned company with no contracts to sign, so call 805-499-1500 to set up a free consultation, or if you just have questions, that's 805-499-1500 or online at oaks-security.com. All right. Thank you to Tim McCarthy and the boys over there at Oak Security for sponsoring the show today. We really appreciate them. And hey, if you're in the Southern California area, you should probably get a security system for your house. So call Tim McCarthy, the boys over there, Oak Security. Super happy with them. Hey, and look, if you're an industry professional or just a Hollywood for Freedom supporter, remember to go to our website, hollywoodforfreedom.com. Join the database for free and make sure to click the links now to join us on Rumble and X. And don't forget to click the follow button for notifications of our weekly show. All right. So today, NICK SEARCY, actor, producer, and all-around great guy, starred in a long-running TV series Justified, in a variety of films from Fried Green Tomatoes early in his career to the Daily Wire's Terror on the Prairie more recently to the just-released Vindicating Trump. He's had a very long and impressive run. I'm excited to have him on the show, but let's first take a quick peek at the trailer for Vindicating Trump.
Country, and if they don't, the country and the world are in big trouble.
Someone's got to overturn the tables in the temple.
Trump jumping into the presidential race.
She's a bit worried.
Of the Apprentice guy?
You know the feeling of power. Could you handle it or would it devour?
They fear that power. You didn't do an insurrection. Had you called for one, there would have been one. And there would be one if you called for one now.
I'm not sure I want that power. I want the power just to make the country better. America first!
And that scares them.
A lot about Donald Trump scares them.
Let's look at everything. Campaign, his family. Let's get foreign eyes on him.
We have one target. You know who he is.
Going after their companies, their families. That is a dictator.
It's a very dangerous time for our country.
The goal is to put him in jail because they're so afraid of his voice.
I am your voice.
We'll bury him so deep in legal, it'll bankrupt them.
Broke Donald in jail right before the election.
Sorry for being that guy, but isn't that election interference?
It's not interference if we do it.
We just want a free and fair election.
Sounds expensive.
Ballots ain't cheap.
Wait. Did you actually say the word buy the ballots?
We were able to purchase 10,000 ballots.
That's terrifying.
They cheat in many different ways. That's all they're good at. Ready to save democracy?
We need to stop him permanently.
And that person will be risking his life.
Too bad it's not the 60s, right?
It's the way you survived.
And I said, get me up.
Trump has beaten back every attack against him.
It's like the damn Terminator. We're going to fix our borders, and we're going to fix our elections. We're going to win.
This is my legacy.
Vindicating Trump.
The best is yet to come.
Only in theaters September 27th.
All right, Vindicating Trump. That's so good. There's so many things I want to quote in that movie, but already just off the trailer. But let's get foreign eyes on him. Nick said that in there. I love that. Let's get foreign eyes on him. Be very serious. So it's so great to have NICK SEARCY with us today. Nick, welcome to the show.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what was it like, Nick, working on that that movie with Dinesh? Like, how's that guy? That guy seems like a ball of energy. Like he's how was he as a director? You know, that's my one.
Well, Dinesh wasn't really directing. Nathan was the director. Dinesh
that's right.
was the producer. But yeah, I mean, it working on those films. This is the second one I've done with Dinesh, and it's a lot of fun because a lot of times they give me a lot of leeway, you know, in terms of what I say and improvising, and that's always worked for me because I'll prefer making my own lines anyway. I do it whenever I can. So,
that was Police State. That was the other one, right? That Dinesh.
Yeah, Police State. I did with him.
That's right.
But yeah, it's always a pleasure, and it's like I told somebody the other day. It's always nice to be able to work on something where you're striking a blow for something you believe in. You know, you're kind of fighting back against the man by making these films. So yeah, because we're the rebels now, you know. They're not the rebels anymore. We're the Sex Pistols now. So.
Right. Go ahead, Siaka, jump in here. What do you got?
What's up, Nick? Good to see you as always. Very, very important question. The young African-American man in the movie in the trailer we just saw, how great was he? No.
Well, it's like, yeah, I mean, when Dinesh called me, I said, you need to call Siaka. You need to get him involved.
Well, but what I really wanted to say is that Dinesh, in this movie, he did something a little bit different where he brought in more humor. Can you speak on that? And I think that enhanced the storytelling of just kind of our message. Can you speak on what you're seeing with that? What I believe is a shift towards that, not just information dump, but more an entertainment storytelling style when you saw that movie?
Well, I certainly have tried to do that with the documentaries I've made, you know, and I think that's important because one thing that's often missed about the left is like, get sort of bogged down in all the horrible things that they're doing and the really dire circumstances that we find ourselves in. But the other side of that is that they are inherently ridiculous. I mean, it is so easy to make fun of them and nobody does it. And because the left, like the late night talk show hosts you guys were talking about, I mean, they don't dare do that. They're propagandists for the regime. So the more that we can come out with this kind of humor, that's what Rush Limbaugh did. That's why Rush Limbaugh was so huge. It was the humor. It was the fact that he was making fun of ridiculous people on the left. And we have to do more of that. And I think that's more effective than maybe anything else. You can spew all the facts you want, but if you actually make somebody laugh at the other side, they're never going to get over that.
Well, hey,
amen.
Nick, let's talk a little bit more about your career. Just you've had a long run, man. You've been around for a while, right? Like all the way back to.
Are you saying he's old? What are you doing?
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying he's distinguished. He's well established.
I've been around so long, I can't even bear to watch myself on screen anymore. I just go, no, I don't want to see that. I know what I look like. I don't want to see that.
Well, hey. Nick, my wife just saw you in a series called The Perfect Couple. She said you were great. Like that's another little series you landed like that.
Yeah.
So
that was fun.
So tell us. I mean, and even just back a couple years, like the Terror on the Prairie. You were awesome in that, man. You were so good in that movie. Like that part was so well done. Love to hate you, but at the same time, it's like, man, this guy's really good. He's really good at doing this thing. So. Kudos to you.
That was a great opportunity. I mean, I sort of, I don't get a chance at parts like that very often, let's say. I mean, I have a chance more at roles like I had in The Perfect Couple, in sort of mainstream Hollywood. So the chance to play a real lead villain like that was a rare and lovely thing. And I'm grateful to the Daily Wire for that.
Yeah, it was really good performance and like really fun watching you in that.
Well, I do wish they would release the movie a little wider. It's like people who aren't subscribing to the Daily Wire can't see it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, if you want to see it, go subscribe to the Daily Wire.
Daily Wire Plus.
It would be worth it just for that.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. You can watch the movie and then cancel right after that.
Why not?
That's called good business. That's just called good business.
Hey, Nick. Just NICK SEARCY sent me.
I'm out.
Hey, Nick. So I watched Runaway Jury the other day, which was one of your movies, probably midway through your career. Would you say? I don't know.
2003.
2003. Yeah. And it's been a while since I saw that movie. It's an older movie, and I thought, for all the reasons why, we recommend people to watch, older movies. One, they don't have woke stuff in them.
The message.
The messages are often better. More family. More chance you can sit down with your family and watch. But I thought, I was blown away because it seemed like a psyop. Of against gun control. What do you think about that? Do you look at older movies that you were in and go, wow, that message wasn't what I thought it was in that when I did it in the beginning?
Well, that was a funny one because Runaway Jury of the novel was originally written about the tobacco industry. It wasn't about the gun industry. And they changed it to guns because there had already been a movie called The Insider, which was about the tobacco industry. So they couldn't just remake that. So they had to sort of reconfigure everything to make it about guns. It didn't really work. I mean, it's like, it's not a good fit. You can't sort of, it just wasn't great from the beginning. On the other hand, I think that's a really great movie. I think it's a really well-made film, and it does a great job telling that story. At the time, this is an anti-gun movie, but at the same time, all the anti-gun people are so crooked. They're pure evil. They're trying to tamper with the jury and all this stuff. So it kind of, it's
art imitating life, basically.
Yeah, it is. Well, but it was good. And it was also, just for me personally, working with Gene Hackman, he was my hero, and just getting a chance to be in the same room with him for a couple of weeks was amazing.
So have you seen Hollywood change over your career in that way? I mean, where obviously you're choosing projects now that you believe in. Has that changed for you over the years?
Yeah, I suppose so. Although I can't say that I was never really a Hollywood insider kind of person. I was always kind of coming in from the outside. My career got started in the Southeast. I was doing little roles in movies in the North and South Carolina and Georgia. And then I got lucky with Fried Green Tomatoes, which gave me a bigger role in a fairly high profile movie. So I was always, I never got invited to any of the P. Diddy parties or anything. I was good. Thank God. I might have gone.
You don't want anyone that just took a picture with that dude's getting questioned. You're good.
But yeah, I mean, it has changed in terms of like, I think when I first got to Hollywood, it was 1992.
Wow.
And I didn't know I was supposed to keep my mouth shut. I didn't know that it wasn't okay, to be a conservative. I was like, had my Rush Limbaugh bumper sticker and everything, I was like, hey. And then by the time I figured it out, it was too late and everybody knew. So, it's gotten less tolerant, that's for sure. I mean, as soon as Obama was elected, even during the Bush years, it was pretty bad. But as soon as Obama was elected, it was like, if you're not for Obama, you're a racist. And I was like, well, I guess I'm a racist then. I guess have to break it to Omar.
And Omar is your adopted son, correct?
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Who happens to have the same melanin count that I do, just to get everybody caught up. A question about that. You brought up like you didn't know being a conservative, you couldn't do that in Hollywood. And you saw that the tolerance get worse and worse as time has gone on. Can you speak to the fact that how did you maneuver through that world? And I know it's changed from, now till then, but you're maneuvering through starting when you start to figure out, oh, okay, that my job's being affected by my political positions. Were you just still unabashed? Were you like, okay, I'm going to kind of move. I know I'm going to this casting office. Let me make sure I put on an extra smile and bring like some chocolates, like basically how are you moving while you were like, hey, I am a conservative and maybe give some hope as Zach was pointing out to others to come out?
I'll say this. There were maybe a couple years there where I was sort of like, yeah, maybe I should keep my mouth shut, but I don't think I ever did. and there were people that they don't really bring it up on set. It's like I don't ever get in political arguments or discussions when I'm shooting. I mean, because you're there to do the work, to make a product and to act and to create something. And so I've never really gotten in a fight on set, although a couple times there have been some friendly discussions. But I think what happened with me was around 2010 is when Justified started. And when Justified was kind of a hit, and I knew that it was going to run for, a number of years, right around that time, same time, 2011, I believe, Andrew Breitbart suddenly passed away. And he was a friend of mine. And that really affected me to the point of like, I just thought, okay, I know how much time I have left. None of us do. And I'm not going to waste my time worrying about whether it's going to cost me work if I say what's on my heart. And so, plus now, granted, I had some job security because I had Justified. Right. But around then is when I just went, okay, I'm going to be who I am. And that's when I ended up directing the movie Gosnell, which was about abortion, which is a big hot button topic. And I just sort of went, okay, everybody knows now. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. I'm going to be who I am. They don't want to cast me because of my beliefs, and I probably don't want that job anyway. And let's see where it takes me.
That's a really good perspective to have, Nick. As far as like, do you really want to work with these people that aren't going to be tolerant of your ideas and your thoughts? And like, why not work with people that are like-minded, like the community that we've created here, right? I mean, we got over 600 industry professionals that are just like done with Hollywood how it is, and just because of that divide and whatnot. And I think we just got to keep pushing on and making these projects with each other, and kind of, Angel Studios and Daily Wire, and there's all these different people that are doing this, and we just kind of. I think the more that happens, the more people can speak out and be not afraid to speak their mind. Like you felt like. Unfortunately, a lot of people just are afraid to speak up because they don't want to lose their job, or they have to work, and it's so that's a tough thing. But I appreciate your perspective on all of that. And
believe me, I'm totally sympathetic to that. I mean, I have so many friends, and these are people that you would know by seeing them. You would know their face, if not their name, but they come up to me all the time and go, man, I really agree with you. And I wish I could speak out. But I know that it would cost me a lot, and I've got kids and all this, and I say, look, I get it. I totally get it. I understand. But, if you lose your country and you destroy your industry, you drive everybody away, what have you saved? I mean, what do you have left?
Yeah.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
That's for sure. Well, hey, listen, Nick, this is great. Let's do a quick another break here. Let's hold you through this next break and talk about some other topics here that we were discussing earlier. Maybe get into a few other things, but hold right there while we watch this quick video about our sponsor, and we'll be back in a minute.
Crime is on the rise. Secure your home before it's too late with Oak Security. The Oak Security team specializes in alarms, video cameras, access controls, gate entrances, emergency alert systems, and all your security needs. Prevent a break-in and install your Oak Security system today.
All right, Oak Security sponsoring the show today. We appreciate those guys. Tim McCarthy is a true patriot over there with Oak Security, family-owned business, really cool. And hey, look, if you're an industry professional or Hollywood for Freedom supporter, remember to go to our website, hollywoodforfreedom.com. That's Hollywood, 4, freedom.com to join our database for free. Make sure you're clicking the links now to join us on Rumble and X, and don't forget to click the follow button for notifications of our weekly show. All right. Let's talk about some of these things. We kind of touched on a few of these things earlier, but let's get a little deeper dive on this with Nick here. Nick, what do you think? What do you think about the retiring thing? Like, do you think you could ever really retire? Like you said, Gene Hackman was one of your what a great actor, man. That guy was like
next level.
And he acted up till I think he couldn't act anymore. But could you ever? What do you think about that? Can you actually really ever retire?
Whenever I tell my wife, Leslie, that I'm going to retire, she always says, for what? From what? What are you going to retire from? You sit around the house 300 days a year. But I mean, yeah, I think you can. I mean, granted, I'm a character actor, but when you're somebody like Daniel Day-Lewis, I mean, you're taking 7-8 months out of your life and you are becoming someone else. And the level of work that he's done over the years, I mean, that's a huge strain on him. Mm. And I totally get why he took some time off. You brought up Terror on the Prairie. His son, Gabriel Kane Day-Lewis, was one of my gang in Terror on the Prairie. And this was right around the time that, we talked about how his father had retired. And he basically said, he didn't feel like he could continue doing the work at the level that he was doing it and still retain a certain quality of life. That's really what it boiled down to. And I guess, it's like a wrestler or something, a wrestler, Ric Flair retires every 5 years and then he has one last match. So it's like you can retire, you can take some time off, but I know that when I'm 75 years old, if somebody calls me up and goes, "Hey, we got a great part for you," I go, "Okay, I'll come out of retirement."
Right. So it's a matter of retiring and then coming out of retirement and then retiring again and coming out of retirement. So it's like, are you really retired? But I think Daniel Day-Lewis, even in another article or something, he mentioned wanted to make the public statement, which he doesn't normally do anyways, but he wanted to put it out there so that he would kind of force himself to stay retired. Yeah. But I guess when your son makes a movie and says, "Hey, Dad, come and
I mean that's a reasonable that's a good reason to come out, help my kid,
And it's great for the publicist. It's great either way. I'm retiring or I'm coming back, people. That's just You know, we're shameless marketers here as actors, so either way works.
Well, what about the late talk shows? When was the last time you watched one of those, Nick?
I can't remember. I mean, the only time I've seen any late night talk shows is watching old Norm Macdonald clips on YouTube. that's about as lately as I've been watching it. But yeah, I think it's an obsolete form of television. Really, it's they're right. I mean, except for Gutfeld. I mean, Gutfeld has a Fox News audience that watches him, you know, every night and part of that is because he's not such a propagandist. Like the late night talk shows, they basically told half the country that they hate them and they don't want them to watch anyway. So. Yep.
Don't forget you're stupid.
They be losing revenue? Why wouldn't they be going out of business?
Yeah.
Were you ever on one of those late night shows there, Nick? You ever had the pleasure?
No, I never made the big ones. I did some crazy, goofy ones. I was on BET Live one time when John Sally was hosting. This is like 1998.
Oh man! Tell us about your BET experience. I'm sorry, guys. This is fantastic.
Well, it was for the show 7 Days that I did back then in 1998, and the publicist got me a spot on. I think it was BET Live was the name of it. John Sally was the host, and basically I was on for about 10 or 15 minutes, and all we did was talk about Carolina and Georgia Tech, because he went to Georgia Tech and I was at Carolina, and his team beat Carolina. It was a big upset, and I go, yeah, that's probably the best thing that ever happened to you in your whole life. Because that's when, anyway, we had a good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, hey,
last one, right?
Yeah, I think we talked a little bit about Zachary Levi's comments, and just we had talked about like being able to stand up and talk out and speak out. I just think, again, back to like the more people do that, the more people will have the courage to stand up and do that. And even like, yourself there, Nick, you wear that hat to the store, you walk around with that thing. Like, why not? Right? Like, you should be able to do that. This should be a free country, even though it doesn't feel like it sometimes.
Well, one thing Zachary Levi said, I mean, he's new to this, obviously. He hasn't been an outspoken conservative, and so he's going to find out what it's really like. but one thing that he said that I agree with is, like, it's now or never. I mean, if you're not going to do it now, when will you? I mean, this is about as dire a situation as we've ever been in this country. And I think also, it's important to note that Hollywood is not the total gatekeeper that it used to be. Right. So by coming out, it doesn't mean that you're ending your career. Not at all. It means that you might have to go a different path. You might be working with different people than you thought you would be working with. It doesn't mean the end of anything. You've got Angel Studios, you've got Kingdom Story out of Nashville, you've got the Daily Wire, all these people. Even Trump has started a streaming service, supposedly, that's going to come out in the next year or so. There are going to be outlets where you can do your work, where you can pursue your craft. And I think Zachary's going to find that. And I that's sort of what I've been doing. I've got a deal made with a company to produce a movie that I'm going to direct, that I wrote with a partner about gospel quartet music in the 60s. There's things that I am pursuing that Hollywood wouldn't do anyway. They wouldn't want to do that movie. So I think that you have to kind of take heart in the fact that things are changing and there will be an outlet for you.
Hey, Nick, a question I have on that change that is happening, we see it going around like everywhere. Can you speak on, as artists and look, he came out and he, in a sense, told the truth. And you mentioned it before. If there is no industry, what are you really being quiet for? And you've been outspoken majority of your career. And I believe as an actor, as an artist, as a musician, as a dancer, there is the pure element of truth is what we're in a sense letting out, we're performing. Can you speak on the muting of artists in Hollywood, and then how this other side of the fence has really, in a sense, I would say catered more to the truth of what artists are meant to do, which is tell the truth in creative ways. And can you kind of speak on like how one side is maybe stifling that? So we've seen the art hurt, and how maybe other side can open up and get that back for truth.
Well, I think that, I hear all the time, I hear people say, I can't find anything to watch. Like anything I turn on Netflix, it's just got all these silly woke politics, some sort of, embedded message that's totally offensive, that's basically meant to drive me away.
Right.
So, the fact that they're basically pushing away so much of their audience, that opens up a whole area to explore. And I think they've overplayed their hand. I mean, what they did to Gina Carano, what they've done to, so many people who've spoken out. I guess I'm not big enough for them to do it to me, but they Kevin Sorbo, Dean Cain, on and on and on.
James
the
Woods.
People that have kind of left Hollywood or been pushed out. I don't know which it is, but they have overplayed their hand so much. Now they're feeling the backlash, and the leftists in Hollywood is starting to hurt their bottom line, and that's why you see they're cutting all the staff at the late night shows, and they're reducing the budgets, and this and that and the other thing. So they're ending themselves, and the reason they're doing that is because they're basically living a lie. They're trying to push their view of reality, which is not real, on a world filled with common sense people who look at that and go, that's insane. I can't support that. So I think more and more it's going to be people like us, people that are not of Hollywood, that are going to be creating the content in the future.
Well, and we just saw, I got one more thought there I wanted to get from you. We just saw, this one hurt my heart because, people can see I got comic books on the wall. I even got that Batman right there. Michael Keaton just came out and called everyone that support or Trump and Elon stupid and so forth. When we've seen these celebrities come out and try to shame us into believing what they believe, why do you think somebody of Michael Keaton's stature, who literally doesn't have to do this because he's getting good cachet from coming back into the public life, or even someone like Robert De Niro, who seems to have jumped completely off the board when it comes down to his TDS, why do you think people so big are, when they don't really have to, are coming out and kind of trying to ruin their situation as well as shame the rest of half the population?
I think, to me, I've thought about it, and to me, there are two possible explanations. One is they're compromised. There's something they're afraid of having come out. And so they, I talk about this all the time in Washington. I'm convinced that whenever anybody gets elected to an office up there, they get a visit from somebody with a manila folder, and they say, look at this, just want you to know we have these pictures of you. We know this about you, so watch how you vote. Wow. I think that could be happening in Hollywood. You see it with the Epstein stuff and the P. Diddy stuff. Who knows? I mean, I don't know anything about Keaton personally, but that could be one explanation. And the other is, I think at a certain point, the amount of money that you have is never going to be enough. If you become addicted to the feeling of power, the feeling of being a big star in Hollywood, the feel of being, a headliner in a motion picture, you don't want that to go away. And you'll do anything to hang on to that. That it becomes a matter of greed. So that would be my two guesses. And I don't know exactly why, but yeah, somebody like Keaton saying that it's they also project. So the fact that the reason he's calling everybody stupid is because he's stupid.
Nick Searcy said that, not the boys of the new Hollywood show. We just want to make that clear. No.
Well, like they say, the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
And, that gets misquoted sometimes, but hey, that's it, right? So, hey, Nick, listen, this has been great. I really appreciate you taking your time out.
We love it, man.
And making sure, coming on the show and talking with us. We've got one more segment I'd love to hold you through here. Speaking of envelopes and here's the dirt we have on you and, paying off juries and why not? Like, we like to.
You have dirt on me? Wait a minute.
No. Not
down here.
That's what you're actually here for, Nick. We got him.
So we got him here.
Roll the clip. No,
we got it. So here's the thing. Like any good script, we like to, foreshadow, what's happening later in the show, which Tim, I just want to thank Tim for the foreshadowing here for our Blast from the Past segment. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about here in a second, but this is our Blast from the Past Movie of the Week segment.
Good morning.
Morning.
Axel Foley, that's what it is.
You are Terminator, right?
Yes.
Love those graphics. That was
right,
awesome.
good stuff.
Nice job, Tim.
So our Blast from the Past Movie of the Week this week is Runaway Jury. Yes, starring John Cusack, Gene Hackman, Dustin Hoffman, and yes, Nick Searcy, our guest on the show today.
Is he the guy running? Is that Nick Searcy right there running? You look really young. You look really good, bud.
It's so funny.
He's chasing me. He's running after me.
Fair
That's
enough.
right. No, yeah, right. In the episode, you had this really long chase scene. It was awesome. Like that was, a few years ago, but you were running through town and he was chasing after you. It was great. How was that to have your own personal chase scene? And did you have a stunt double for that? That's my question.
Well, yeah, I did have a stunt double, but yeah, when I saw that scene, it's like, oh yeah, I better get in shape. I better start running a little bit. So I'm on the treadmill, jogging, I'm going, yeah, I'm in pretty good shape. And we get there and it's like, okay, it's a 200-yard sprint down Jackson Square with a camera on a four-wheeler, right?
Yes.
That's following me. And so I do it like twice and I pull every muscle in my body and I'm just laying in the trailer on the floor. And so we get done with that, and then I have the whole rest of the day to shoot. I've got to climb up these stairs. I got to do all this stuff. The director keeps going, do you want to just do this another day, Nick? I go, no, it's just going to be just as bad. Let's get this over with. I'm like eating Aleve and aspirin and everything. And
so good.
Finally, I had the first AD, I said, could you please just make an announcement and just tell everybody I'm all right. Tell everybody to stop asking me if I'm all right. Tell them I'm all right.
Wow.
As you limp up the stairs for the fourth take, I'm fine.
And that was the last day of shooting before Christmas break. And I remember, I got on the plane and I literally could not bend my legs. I had to just sidle over into the seat and just fall down into it because I could barely move. It was so much pain. It was awful.
That's such a we just respect Tom Cruise so much for doing that in every single movie.
Yeah.
His running sequence he has to do, right? Like that's crazy.
Yeah, that was my Tom Cruise moment.
Yeah, right.
And that's a little behind the curtain of what the Hollywood magic is. When you see one scene of someone running, we probably did that a bunch of times, let alone 2 times, right? It's like people don't get you're going over and over and over again. Yeah. So, and you're not in as good of a shape as you think you are until you get on set and see where you're
at. The other funny thing about the stuntman is like we're doing this thing where I'm supposed to run through this restaurant and jump up on a table and climb over a wall, right? So I had the stuntman come in. Yeah, Nick, you just run into the restaurant and then we'll bring in the stuntman. So they bring in the stunt guy and he runs in, he jumps up on the table, he climbs up over the wall and I go, wow, that looked pretty good. And the director goes, can we just do that one more time? Could you struggle a little bit more? That just doesn't look like Nick going over that
wall. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Well, I had a swimming part once. I had to do like, it was an Olympic-sized pool, and I had to swim laps in it. All they asked at the audition, literally all they asked was like, can you swim? I was like, yeah, I can swim. They didn't say, can you swim in an Olympic-sized pool with a camera on a rig following you over and over and over again? I just had to keep, I thought I was going to drown. I literally thought I was going to drown. I was so tired. Like, they're setting the camera. Like, anyways. I feel with you.
No, I know that because I actually had a similar, not in the water, but I did the Super Bowl commercial. And we were pushing this cushioned chair down the street. And the director was like, from home base, he drove about 2 miles down. He goes, okay, we're going to run. And so me and this guy are on sidewalks pushing a rolling like cushioned, sofa chair down the street a bunch of times. And my brilliant idea was like, oh, I'm going to wear a little cardigan little cardigan sweater down in New Orleans in the middle of the heat. Let's just say that sweater gained size, and I lost a lot of weight that week of shooting. So I totally get that. We've all been there. I love it.
Well, I learned early on about the stuntman thing when I was doing Fried Green Tomatoes. There's a scene where I pick up Mary Louise Parker and I carry her up the stairs, and we do this scene, and the director keeps going, "Do you want a stuntman to do that?" And I go, No, I can do it, because it's my first movie, first big role. I wanted to do everything. So I go up the stairs about 16 times. Mary Louise Parker. And it's like, okay, whenever anybody asks you if you want a stuntman, say yes. It doesn't matter if you're picking up a piece of paper. Say yes.
Right? Because it's the repetitiveness, right? It's not. I mean, I could do that once, maybe twice, but you got 16 times later. It's like, come on, that's crazy. Well, oh man. So Runaway Jury, the only thing about that movie that I just didn't buy it. Like, they're paying off the jury and they're paying off people. Like, this just doesn't make sense. They don't do that. They don't do that in real life. Give me a break. Right. All right. So, truth and fiction collide. Anyways,
every day.
Runaway Jury, go check it out if you haven't seen it in a while. It's a good one. Nick, you were great in that as well. Appreciate you being here. Hey, listen, real quick, I just want to mention that Hollywood for Freedom is all about gathering artists together, right? And encouraging healthy living, like whether it's here on this podcast or working on productions or even at in-person events, right? Where professionals thrive, the content will too. That's what we believe. Nick, you've even been to a couple of our in-person events. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we haven't done those in a while. We've been focused on the podcast here, but those are fun get-togethers, right?
Yeah,
good time there.
I had a lot of fun coming to those before I left California.
Right.
So if you're still in California.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, listen, Nick, thank you again for being on the show. I just want to go final thoughts with anybody. If you wanted last shout outs, Nick, if you wanted to say anything, I'll give you the floor here.
No, I would just say go to Amazon and purchase my book, which is just out now, called Justify This. That's the only thing.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Justify This. There you go. Buy Nick's book. Cool. Siaka, last thoughts, buddy?
Last thoughts, go to Amazon and buy Nick Searcy's Justify.
Justify This. Yeah.
Justify This. Dang it. Dang it. I messed it up.
That's great. All right, that's my final thought too. Tim, you still with us, Mr. Dapper Dan?
Yeah, I'm still here. And it's been a great show, and I really appreciate Nick coming on, and I would just say, go get Nick's book. That's my final thought. Go get Nick's book.
There you go.
That's right. It's very important.
All right. Let me just say, this is my final thought. It has nothing to do with Nick's book. I'm just kidding. It does. Go get Nick's book. Justify This. Get it now. Hey, I just want to say a quick shout out to our sponsor, Oak Security, again, for sponsoring the show. Thank you guys, Tim McCarthy and the boys over there. That's our show. I want to thank you all for joining us. We're the new Hollywood for free thinkers. Where being creative doesn't mean you need to sacrifice wholesome ideals. Where freedom and family is a good thing. Where you can be a well-rounded and healthy creative working in the new Hollywood. Hey, if you're not yet a member of our database, sign up for free on our website at hollywoodforfreedom.com. Our strength is in our numbers, so please join the movement. And remember, don't trust big tech. Find us on Rumble or X, where we can speak free of censorship. Click the link now, share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to click the follow button to get notifications of our weekly show. Thank you, Oak Security, our sponsor for today. Thank you to our guest, Nick Searcy. Great seeing you. Thanks to Tim and Siaka, my co-host for today. New shows dropping every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Until next time, Galatians 5:13.